What's raging, gamers? Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK the Wreck?
You know what time it is, Chris. It is Wednesday. It's time to rage.
Yes, that is right, my man. We got so much to discuss, but we always like to start off the show with a bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. The streaming world has officially gone off the rails with the rise of AI because what could possibly go wrong? While AI has given us some really cool advancements, it's also unleashed the nightmare of deepfakes, turning unsuspecting streamers into the unwilling stars of content they definitely didn't sign up for, whether they meant to or not, or whether they even have control or not. That's for another time. But now social media is buzzing over an AI Twitch streamer that's taken things to the next level, powered by Google's AI model, VO2. And yep, we've reached the point where even virtual streamers might be more entertaining than actual humans. Have we gotten there? Will our future kids be watching these AI streamers?
What's so crazy is how convincing at first glance that really
Very
is.
convincing. Yeah, you think, wow, very attractive. And then you start to look at those hands. Did you notice that? I mean, It was kind of fast, but let's see if the comments have to say about our new favorite. Do we despise this AI streamer? Let's see what's good. I wouldn't be surprised in a year or two OnlyFans get swarmed with AI women being controlled by dudes just fulfilling the most disgusting requests from other guys for money. Laughing emoji. AI is going to cook everything, man.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to be the first person to sign up? Yeah, I know, right?
Whoa.
I mean, I wasn't saying you. I'm saying this guy. I mean,
okay. I was going to say, Chris, come on, man.
But yeah, we can tell. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
is that 7? She has 2 thumbs.
Too many.
She might be a monster in Monster Hunter Wilds. We don't know. And then the next one we got is always the hands. Yeah, you ever notice that with AI advancement that they can never quite get the hands done right? We discussed this earlier. Remember with
very hard.
Remember with Call of Duty Black Ops 6, they were getting excited with the whole, Christmas edition. Remember the zombie? Remember the multiple fingers?
Yeah.
Even Call of Duty's now getting in trouble again. Saying, we use AI a little bit in some of our in-game asset. Just better not be coming from, the premiums, the stuff that we got to spend with our extra dinero beyond the base game. That would kind of suck. But
I would wager to say that it has actually been in that too, though, but that's a different topic for another time.
Exactly. But hey, let's go into this one because this was awesome. If you ever find yourself in a tough situation, forget self-defense classes. Just obliterate your opponent with just the sheer power of your gaming laptop. Yeah, you might be thinking, what the hell is my gaming laptop ever going to do? Well, content creator Chris Jariza has discovered the ultimate way to end any street fight instantly. And no, it's not with the high frames per second, no FPS, don't have to worry about all that. Just watch and see the brilliance.
This is how you destroy someone in a fight with just your laptop. You're gonna block, dive down.
Predator missile incoming.
Right? Yeah, that took me by surprise, and I'm sure your opponent that's trying to face you off, I don't know who gets in fights nowadays. Who actually just looks for fights? But if you're ever in a tough situation, always bring your gaming laptop. But I've tried, but my laptop suddenly updated the Microsoft by itself, and what's now, sir? My opponent's still waiting for my next turn. We fight using a turn-based rule. I thought there was no rules in the streets.
Hey, you got to lay down the rules first. That's why.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. And then instructions unclear. I made a mistake and sent a napalm strike. Oh, okay. You wanted to knock him out. You didn't want to pulverate him.
Yeah, you're committing war crimes, you know.
We do not condone that here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And then multiple KIAs, good hit, AC 30, 130 inbound. That makes me remind me of that Attack song. Gotta love it.
Oh, I do know that song.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But ever had that awkward moment when your mic is still on and the entire lobby hears way more than they should? Well, this gamer's wife took oversharing to a whole new level. And whether she meant it or not, we got an iconic viral clip for you. Have a laugh.
So I was playing my game, Black Ops 6, and I was on speaker with like 40 people, and Abby doesn't know how video games work. So she just turned over in the bed, looked at me and said, come over here and give me a good wienering. And everybody lost their mind. She said, go over here and give me a good wienering. I said, my mic's on.
I forget. I'm sorry.
Give me a good wienering.
Do you want me to go apologize?
No. Don't talk to my friend.
At least I didn't use bad words. All right, come on, though. I feel good.
Why did you send it to my friend?
What did you want me to say?
Why did you send it to my friend? 1948.
I totally.
I'd like some of that wienering, please.
Oh man, at least what really makes this such a great video is the delivery of the line. Could have been anything else, but they chose that line.
I know he's got his headset on, but I don't know if any of my Sony gamers out there, when they first got their PS5 console and then they got, the controller with the built-in mic in it, I felt for that. I didn't realize I was on the hot mic at first when I first had it, and that was a learning experience. But, sometimes we don't get in relationships with another gamer, and we can still forge alliances in the end. I cherish that relationship. They look like they have an amazing love for one another. But it was the come on, though, for me. Yeah. I love it.
It's like, I meant it. I didn't say that as a joke.
Right. And as a gamer myself, that's going to be the running joke for years. That would be kind of funny to kind of see people pick up on this and try to do it to their own significant other. Just prank them a little bit. Why don't you? And should I go apologize? No, don't talk to my friends. Yeah, that will only kind of make it a little worse. I mean, save the kinkiness for another time, all right? Save that for the another room, not the streaming room. But hey, we want to thank everybody for always tuning in live for Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. We want to take a moment during this show, for anybody that has not subscribed to my YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
And you see that bask in that great QR code that's right there. Because that is my QR code. It goes to my YouTube channel. So do not forget, scan it, go there, leave a comment. There's tons of content all waiting for you to just go watch. So go, what are you waiting for? Just go.
What was that?
After the show.
Yeah, what was that just there? Were you just trying to one-up me right there, man? I understand your artistic style had you with the nice, luscious hair going on a little bit, but I'm like, okay, I see the intensity starting to rise. So you're going to bring that adrenaline? You're going to bring that energy, HenricK?
Yeah, because I know what's up next, Chris, and I know you do too. It's time to start the show, and we always start the show off with a great section where we get to talk about a video game.
Hey,
and sometimes we rage, sometimes we rage, but this one is a banger. So stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Monster Hunter Wilds. Another Monster Hunter game. This one follows the mainline series of games, so the last entry there was Monster Hunter World from 2018. But what sets this one apart from its predecessors? Let's find out by looking at the gameplay. The gameplay of Monster Hunter Wilds is still Monster Hunter at its core. However, there are of course differences, a notable one being a seamless open world. There are various biomes to explore and large maps to traverse, which is exactly why this time we've also been given a mount, the Sacred. Sacred mounts help exploring the world easier by allowing us to travel quicker than by on foot, and also there is a holster to carry a second weapon during hunts. The combat has also seen changes, most notably a focus mode. By using this, the player is able to engage the monster and zero in on a specific body part for increased damage and spectacle. There also is the usual change, of course, new monsters to fight. But where and why are we fighting these monsters? Let's touch the story to get an answer. The story of Monster Hunter Wilds kicks off with an expedition to the Forbidden Lands. This is a previously uncharted and thought to be uninhabited region of the world. However, it quickly becomes clear that not only do monsters live here, but so do people. We meet one such individual, Nata, and attempt to help this young boy find his way back to his village. What else will we find on the way? But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
It's Monster Hunter. You know, what else is there to really say? Because when a Monster Hunter game comes out, it's going to be popular. But
yeah.
To be real, actually, bring things back from just the hype for a minute here. It really says something when this game comes out, has a scene of the characters eating food, and then the same food that's in that scene, cheese naan or cheese bread from India, goes and ends up being sold out in Japan. That just shows that there's so many people playing this game, especially in Japan, but not just in Japan. And so many so to the point that they're like, oh, I'm actually wanting to go out and try this.
You know what's so incredible about that? You know, I went to Tokyo, Japan about 4 years ago with my little brother, and I could never remember the dish that we had for almost 2 weeks. That was that particular cheese that we used to have every single night with chicken. And so now I can understand why the hype is real when it comes to America and why everybody wants to have that traditional dish right here in our own, nation. So I think that is kind of incredible, just that one little tiny anecdote. But getting even back to Monster Hunter Wilds, I mean, it throws you into a world where nature doesn't just heal, it's actively trying to kill you with massive, ever-changing environments and enough dangerous creatures to make a Jurassic Park employee quit on the spot. You'll take on the role of a professional monster hunter tasked with keeping the ecosystem in balance, mostly by smacking gigantic beasts with absurdly oversized weapons.
Yes, and it is very satisfying to do so. They always do a great job with the combat in these games, and this is no exception. There's so many different weapons to choose from, and I have a question, Chris. Which one is your favorite? Because I know my favorite.
Yeah, I think you're going to probably say the dual blades, right? I think that's what most people have been gravitating towards. Yes, as myself, watching everybody else on social media use that same weapon, I fell in line with everybody else.
You're on the team. No, for real, right? Like I in previous Monster Hunter games have always been like, okay, I really love the big hulking weapons like the great sword. And, it's really just because it's just very satisfying to have the moments of, okay, I'm charging up this big attack and I'm going to hit you with it. And I end up actually hitting you with it. Yeah. And then there's the other times when you actually charge it up and you miss. But, when you actually land the hits, they're very satisfying. But I saw a clip of someone play with the dual blades on social media. And after that, I was like, you know what? I think this is the game where I try this out. And I definitely don't regret it because it makes me feel every time that I hit that focus mode attack that I showed a couple clips of in the video. Every time I hit that, I feel like I'm a character from Attack on Titan because I'm jumping off of the monster, launching my grapple, and then just spinning with my blades, hitting the monster in a tornado, essentially.
Yeah, but sometimes the combat comes across like you're a Beyblade, though, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's so chaotic. I mean, hunting these monsters isn't just about survival; it's about fashion too. You know what I mean? Every beast you take down turns materials for crafting armor and weapons. So yes, that dragon you just slayed, you're wearing its face now. And HenricK, I mean, I think it is awesome and iconic for the Monster Hunter series to bring back 14 classic weapon types, making a return that you'll have plenty of ways to experience for yourself through excessive force.
And plenty of monsters also from previous entries in this series, new ones as well. So there's always going to be something new to do. And honestly, the story is kind of it's not really the strongest point, but really the gameplay is the focus here. And as more content comes out, because this game is a live service game, as more content comes out, there is going to be more stuff to do. And really the game starts for real after the story finishes. When it
Yeah,
comes to the story, really though, the dynamic of the supporting cast is what makes everything enjoyable. It's a vibe. You're hanging out with the boys.
No, I feel you on that one. At the heart of the story is a boy named Nada who found wandering near the Forbidden Lands after his village was attacked by a mysterious monster, Monster Hunter Wilds. And so the guild, in classic guild fashion, decides this sounds like your problem and sends you in to investigate. And so along the way, you'll explore some seriously extreme environments, from the Windward Plains where sandstorms crackle with thunder to the oil well basins where the region casually lights itself on fire during fire spring. And meanwhile, the Scarlet Forest floods with eerie red water during its downpour, and the ice shard cliffs are basically a VIP section for hypothermia. So thank God we're not actually in the game to experience any of this.
At least that technology is not there yet, and maybe sometime in the future we'll have.
Yeah, we have seen some of these. Yeah, I know, with people wearing the shock suit systems. But don't worry, you're not alone in this ride. You've got your trusty Palico for moral support. You got a sacred
which I
mount.
designed after my cat at home. So every time I'm going out fighting monsters, my cat's joining with me. Good old
I like
Tin.
that. That's really funny. I've been seeing some very cool, lucrative character designs. I even saw Machete is actually in on it, and he's been having some fun and been asking even his own iconic film base of fans, how to further improve his look. But then you got the sacred mount that lets you switch weapons on the fly or just bail when things get ugly. And then an NPC handler named Alma, who's there to make sure you technically follow the rules. And if things really get bad, HenricK, just fire off those SOS flare and summon up to 3 other hunters from around the world. And who would have thought going into just March 2025, we've got quite a lineup, a really strong, push for co-op live stream multiplayer gaming. We've been, really distasteful towards that kind of notion over the last year. Top of the mind comes to, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. But now it seems like, nothing says teamwork like 4 players wildly swinging great swords in different directions.
Well, maybe this is an example of how to do it right then.
Yeah.
I think that this game is going to stick around for quite a bit. Granted, I think Monster Hunter games typically do until their next iteration in their certain line, whether it be the portable line or the main line like this one.
Gotcha.
People are going to be playing this for a long time.
Yeah,
I'm playing this for a long time.
It's definitely got that, that live service nature to it. I love, the environment change that does happen, between the 2 extreme seasons. You got fallow where predators are just hungry, and the inclemency where everything is very hungry, and every hunt is unpredictable. So grab your biggest weapon, pet your Palico, and get ready to learn the hard way that nature always wins. And so I know there are going to be casual updates moving forward. I know some people feel like it's not moving fast enough. I know during the summertime they're only launching 1 new monster, which is a little disheartening, and maybe they might hear from the fans and maybe even bring back even more classic monsters into this iconic franchise. But I'm having a blast with this. I think you will as well, gamers. So for myself, HenricK, I'm saying it's a repeat. I'm looking forward to some of the new additions that are going to be coming with this game.
Yeah, it's a repeat for me as well, as I've basically alluded to the whole section.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because I'm really enjoying this game. There's not a moment in this game where I'm like, oh man, this is such a drag. And it gets even better if I'm able to play this with other people.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Strangers or friends, it's just a good time.
Yeah, that was going to be my final, stance too. It's like this game really does come across a lot more fun when you do have your partner with you. But, if you can play with a bunch of randoms, that is also a very cool experience that is catered for you. So what are you waiting for? Are you going to be jumping into the world of Monster Hunter Wilds? And if you're not, why? Let us know what's good. And hey, we got so much more here left on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh yeah, we got some banger topics, so stay tuned because there's lots to talk about.
That's right. What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. March 2025 has arrived, kicking down the door like a protagonist in a game tutorial you're definitely going to skip. And here are the top 3 must-play games this month because your backlog wasn't overwhelming enough already. So first up, Split Fiction is the latest co-op adventure from Hazelight Studios, the masterminds behind It Takes Two, aka the game that either strengthened friendships or ended them. This time, players step into the shoes of writers Mio and Zoe, who somehow get yeeted into their own chaotic mix of sci-fi and fantasy stories, leaving you and a co-op partner to puzzle your way out. And yes, Friends Pass is back, so you can drag an unsuspecting friend into this narrative disaster for free, because nothing says teamwork like arguing over who messed up the last puzzle or who's actually going to make the purchase to play this game.
If this has any inspiration from It Takes Two to be Game of the Year nominee this year, it's going to upset a lot of people, as did the nomination for It Takes Two. But hey, it must be nominated for a reason, and that is because it's a good game. We haven't played it yet, but it looks really promising.
Well, my first reaction is I don't know what the hell is going on, but it looks freaking awesome. And I do love a good game where it feels like you're playing 2 different genres at once, and this is what the vibe I'm getting from with this game. And it seems like it's for all ages too. I think there's going to be a good laugh with it. I mean, I've seen some gameplay where you get to ride a pig that's like farting with rainbow, coming out of its you know what. And so like I'm just wondering what the hell is even going on? Like where do writers go sometimes? You ever think that when you're watching some of your favorite television series, like where do these people go when they think of these kind of stuff? That's kind of the beauty. How did they come
up with this?
Right. And I think that's what Split Fiction is going to offer with this game. And I think it's going to be badass. I cannot wait to play it. And you're going to want to join along with a friend or some rando online. So Split Fiction launches on PC and PS5, Xbox Series XS on March 6. And so the latest Assassin's Creed installment finally drops players in feudal Japan, because after years of fan requests, Ubisoft finally caved, and you'll switch between 2 play styles: a stealthy assassin who lurks in the shadows and a legendary samurai who does the exact opposite. And after a few delays, Assassin's Creed Shadows is officially landing on March 20th, assuming, HenricK, it doesn't get another hit with another last minute sinking into the anonymous loaded screen. Not 1, not 2, but 3 freaking delays. Man, we want to see this game come to life. And so you haven't seen the gameplay? Let's go ahead and take a look.
With all the controversies surrounding this game, and I do mean that with plural controversies.
Yeah, for real.
Unfortunately, it seems like this game is going to be a really interesting choice to keep an eye on and see if it actually is a very good game. Because if it is, that's going to be great for Ubisoft.
Yeah,
to eat all the negative feedback they've gotten. And honestly, they really need to at this point.
Well, I've been at this point now where I'm getting kind of exhausted with, the news coverage around Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's getting to a point where I'm just trying to block out the noise. So I cannot wait to play the game and judge it by the gameplay. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it
and not
feels
the
like it's
controversy.
fantastic. It really does look like it's moving very smooth, especially when it comes to the parkour statics that's going to be coming along with this game. I do love, like Ghost of Tsushima was fantastic. And so I feel like a lot of us are going to be trying to, or will, not trying, we will be comparing a lot to that game. And so, yeah, I mean, I think, what's going to really push this game to be successful has got to be a very powerful story dialogue. And so, people have been questioning the choices of the two protagonists for this game, and we will see whether it delivers a Game of the Year material. But if you are excited to play the latest addition to this franchise, Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS on March 20th. And finally, Adamfall is a survival action game inspired by real events, because nothing says fun like a nuclear disaster. All right, all jokes aside. Set in an alternate history 5 years after the Windscale meltdown, you'll scavenge, craft, trade, and sweet talk your way through a British countryside quarantine zone filled with weirdos, shady government types, and cults that probably have terrible dental hygiene. And along the way, you'll unravel the mystery of what really went down at Windscale, assuming you don't get distracted by the existential dread or radiation-induced hallucinations. And best of all, Adamfall is a day one Xbox Game Pass title, so you can experience the apocalypse without spending extra cash. So let's go ahead and take a look.
I hadn't seen a whole lot of marketing about this game, but it looks quite interesting. I'm intrigued.
Well, a lot of us are, still looking for a good open world exploration kind of casual style of game, and where you can play for a couple hours, leave, jump onto another game, come back to it, progress a little bit further, jump off. Yeah. I think Adamfall could cater towards that kind of style of gameplay. I love a good little Fallout, so when I do hear about how you could scavenge and hunt and collect resources and build upon your gear and what seems like a very, very cool experience, I'm all in. It kind of gives me that vibes like with the other gameplay series with Chernobyl, if any gamers out there are familiar.
Stalker.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if Adamfall is for you, it launches on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series XS on March 20th. And not too many games in the year 2025 or catering to the Xbox One and PS4. Sorry, Nintendo. Another year. I guess we really got to wait for the Nintendo Switch too. But, there it is. Those are the must-play games of March 2025. But HenricK, I know you got something really, really enticing to discuss. Break it down.
Oh, yeah. Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers Discovery in particular, is doing the corporate equivalent of a stealth takedown.
Yeah.
Shutting down 3 studios while refocusing on its core franchises. In the process, the long-awaited Wonder Woman game has been lassoed straight into the abyss, marking yet another heroic effort that will never see the light of day. Aren't we sad about that? Huh?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, well, Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego are all getting the axe, proving once again that in the battle between creativity and corporate spreadsheets always win.
Yep.
And as
Money
Warner
talks.
Brothers put it, they're aiming for, quote, profitability and growth in 2025, which is business speak for, please forget this happened. We
Yeah.
don't want to see our mistakes on paper.
Yeah,
But
right.
So, of course, gamers had their reactions to the news. So let's take a look at the comments that we had.
Yeah, let's jump right on into it. So the first comment that we got here is they really took the studio that made NOLF, Fear, and Shadows of Mordor and managed to drive them into shutting down. What a farce. And with the follow-up comment that says, and the studio that developed the Nemesis system that Warner Brothers then trademarked and has yet to put in another game. And they have the Nemesis system all the way until 2036. And so anybody that's not familiar with the Nemesis system, really, really cool feature. Anytime you come across like an NPC, like if anybody's played the Lord of the Rings, Shadow of the Mordor, you might come across an orc and he might be level 6. He's got a lot of banter and dialogue that he really wants to tell straight to your face before you put the beat down on him. And you never know whether you might run across him again in the next 30 minutes or 2 hours along your gameplay adventure. But the next time you see him, he will have an improved level system. And that is what we call the Nemesis system. How stupid that we are able to patent gameplay. And so I'm sure Pokemon, aka Nintendo, going after Pal World is thinking, how can they do this? And we can't do what we want to do to protect, you know, Pokemon balls and throwing them at creatures and
and smooth dismounting and mounting of Pokemon and just what's going on, Nintendo?
Yeah, that kind of sounded more about the whole Mario Kart route. You know what I mean? Going from flying, hitting the streets, going underwater. It's so stupid. And I think it's not a place that I believe should be anywhere in intellectual property or copyright.
But going back to this comment, the Nemesis system, it's going to be locked behind a shut gate at this point, because unless Warner Brothers decides to pull that out of the vault and put it in some other game they work on, I don't think we're going to see that in any game, even from them.
Oh, yeah, not anytime soon.
36.
Yeah, they would have to basically negotiate it. But then again, you got Monolith has produced some fantastic games over 3 decades of work. This is a legitimate loss to the industry. Shogo will always hold a place in my heart. So some people are thinking like, wow, the iconic team that brought us Fear, the series. You know, even some people are like, wow, talking about, video games turning into cinematic adaptions. We want Fear. And then they're like, sorry, we don't know if gamers really have that much of an interest, and bye-bye, studio. Then you get comments like this: the F did Monolith did wrong? None of their games were flops. Shadow of War was a mixed success, I suppose, but still. Then we get a follow-up comment that says, being owned by Warner Brothers, apparently the greatest crime of all. And then another fellow Redditor says, Warner Brothers seems intent on killing themselves, canceling movies, taking their own cartoons off their own streaming service, and now this. Yeah, Warner Brothers has been going through quite a restructuring, and now that they bring up the canceling movies, that's the whole the Coyote movie, remember? They axed that. Some people felt like it was a fantastic movie, but they did that for over tax purposes, and that's the main reason why you will never see the light of day, which is unfortunate. And then taking their own characters off their own streaming service, that could definitely be a killer for you. And then you get comments like this: I honestly don't know how you mess up. Okay, so what if we make a God of War game but with Wonder Woman? You don't even need to be creative. Everything to be written is right there, but where we fit the microtransactions in organically, that's probably where they got stuck. Yeah, that could be. We have seen from, the director with, Split Fiction, who was saying that they will vow as a studio to never implement microtransactions because they believe that hinders the creativity, experience for their developers. And so when you hear people kind of revolting against that, do you think Warner Brothers will take a clue or take a hint and think maybe we shouldn't be treating DC IP under microtransactions?
When the majority of the industry that's making crap loads of money are making all that money off of microtransactions, I don't think that they're going to let that go so quickly.
Yeah, they probably won't. I'm thinking about Marvel Rivals too. You know what I mean? Like we even joked about it last week. We're like, League of Legends, Mr. Beast, you want to buy a League of Legends esports team? I mean, good luck. Whether it's if DC Universe wants to come on in and make their own, League of Legends ripoff, don't you think that everybody's going to switch over? We're going to just have to wait and find out. And as a DC fan, I'm jealous that Marvel has taken the lead in gaming. DC is collecting L after L. It's so sad, man. F Warner Brothers with the last comment saying, Why is Warner Brothers so bloody stupid and incompetent? If I had the fantastic IPs they had under their belt, I'd be setting up generations of prosperity. They have such massively loved IPs and so much talented individuals behind them, and they just F it all up over and over and over. So yeah, people are starting to get sick and tired of what the hell's going on. And, we've reported it last season that, Warner Brothers Discovery is, going to be focusing more on Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. But, now that we've seen, 3 studios shut down, HenricK, I'm just kind of wondering, is, Warner Brothers Discovery essentially, it seems like they're trying to keep their games in-house. Like that whole idea, the in-house gaming, that seems game over, right? So while other companies leaned on licensing deals for their IP-driven games, Warner Brothers Discovery was the lone wolf until now, I would say. So does this mean that the magic's gone, or are we about to get even more, let's say, Mortal Kombat and Game of Thrones spin-offs in the style of video games?
Well, it really means that at this point, unless you are Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, or Game of Thrones, one of those big IPs that they have their hands on, you're not going to be able to get anything through the door because they're just keeping an eye on everything at this point. And if it doesn't seem like it's going to be profitable, it's getting the axe. And honestly, even if you're actually working on something from those IPs, like we see with the Wonder Woman game here, it doesn't matter. Because if it doesn't seem profitable enough to them, it's just going to get the axe anyways. So they're really keeping a very keen eye on what's being worked on because they want to make money. And they don't want to make just a little bit of money and then maybe save a little bit of money there and work on something else and maybe eventually get something that makes them a crap load of money. No, they want to just make all the money in one go if they can.
Yeah,
it means that it's going to be a little difficult for things to actually come out and not have things like microtransactions, but we'll have to see what they end up doing because they already kind of have some plans for the next Harry Potter game.
Yeah, I mean, we don't definitively know, all the details when it comes to, the sequel to Harry Potter. But when it comes to, translating popular characters into gaming, companies seem better off, loaning out characters to the developers best suited to handle them. And, sometimes it can become a successful approach and sometimes it can kind of bite you in the ass. I know Disney learned this lesson the hard way with Star Wars after its exclusivity deal with Electronic Arts that didn't reap the consistent results. But then meanwhile, Marvel avoided this problem as it worked with everyone from EA Motive, Insomniac, Square Enix, and NetEase to tremendous success. So don't you think that Warner Brothers is scoping that and thinking wow, as much as we want to build things in-house, maybe it's best to loan our character IP to a different studio so we don't take a massive financial hit?
Yeah, I know they should do that because I know that there's definitely studios out there that would be very willing to put in the man hours and effort to put together even just a DC game of high quality. And maybe it would be a DC game that would try to compete with the likes of Marvel rivals, or maybe not even that, just a DC game to compete with other big Marvel IP.
Yeah, I don't think they would be a smart idea to copy
Insomniac Spider-Man games,
Yeah, that's why
if they did an Insomniac Spider-Man game with some DC character instead, I'm pretty sure people would enjoy that.
Right, yeah, I think more on the multiplayer aspect. If you copied Marvel Rivals, I don't know if people would quite gravitate all the way. I think if you mimic something like I keep saying, League of Legends, I can we could be seeing the next potential Overwatch 2, kind of sense of a killer coming on in. But yeah, Warner Brothers Games, they are the publisher that has repeatedly put monetization before quality, which of course that's going to affect your bottom dollar. And so they've had several big releases over the years. The recently shuttered Multiverses and Suicide Squad are just two major, DC IPs right there. Or with Multiverses, it's a lot of Warner Brothers intellectual property. But it's just crazy to think that they're taking a step back and saying, hey, maybe we should open the doors for other studios to take on our wonderful collection of awesome characters. Do you think this is a smart move from Warner Brothers, to, branch off and, let some of the other creatives get in on the action? Or is this actually maybe not a good thing, and maybe they need to get back to, the bigwigs and, try to figure it out in-house? Let us know what's good. But man, HenricK, dude, this is remarkable thing that's happening in the PC gaming world, because is Steam bigger than the Beatles, bigger than Jesus, or bigger than, well, let's just say certain enhancements, if you know what I mean? I can't say for sure, but I know it's officially bigger than Ukraine. That is freaking insane. So over the weekend, Steam shattered its own record by surpassing 40 million concurrent users for the first time. An even bigger flex, considering it just hit 39 million in December. So for perspective, if Steam were a country, it ranked 38th in the world, just behind Canada and absolutely body slamming Uzbekistan's 37 million population. So now let's see how gamers are reacting to this digital empire's latest milestone with the following. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the first comment that we got here is, from a track record point of view, my expectation is that Epic's investment in technology will outpace Valve's substantially. When we look back at Steam in 5 or 10 years, it may look like a dying store, and other competitive stores will be the place to be. Randy Pitchford, Gearbox CEO. Wow.
Yeah.
That didn't age well.
It did not age well.
And this is the guy that created Borderlands. And, we all know what he said about his own movies. So.
True.
Okay,
true.
I won't go there. Okay. But go on, HenricK.
Really going in on him.
But damn, Steam goes hard today. Monster Hunter Wilds really pushed the numbers. Yeah, definitely had a big following, 1.3 million alone right now, and that's with all its problems, and that's only Steam, not including consoles, easily 2.5 million or more. So yeah, that is fascinating. We also get this. Okay, here we go. We got a meme. Unhated gaming company annual meeting. Oh, shoot. Only Steam, Valve made it to the winner's circle. And then we get comments like this. Gabe Noel's Infinity money printer working just as intended. Gavin intensifies. Very funny. And then that China market really pumps those numbers. According to Steam survey, half the Steam users use Chinese language. And so we got another follow-up comment from a Redditor that says, damn, I had to Google that. In February, the top 5 most commonly used languages used among Steam players based on this survey were simplified Chinese at 32.84%, English at 32.12%, and Russian at 9.27%, and Spanish at 4.1%, and Portuguese at 3.45%. I didn't even know that, like, in a tier of language, simplified Chinese was, I thought it was just Chinese. But I'm learning something new every day. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, if you can win over, the country of China and their player base, yeah, I mean, of course it's going to be successful. But it does also tell you quite a bit that, wow, maybe that nation has, a very large influx of PC gamers after all over there.
Yeah, and this is on top of them having some restrictions on how much they can play the games, like time-wise. So it says something for sure, and it says that there is a market for PC gaming around the world.
Yeah, I even saw,
Whether the console makers think that is the truth or not, and the game developers, they keep treating the PC market like a third-class citizen in comparison, but hey, it's there.
It's there.
Why aren't you taking advantage of the fact that there's this many people? I don't know.
Right. And have you ever wondered how many of them are actually on Steam using it? Always feel that startup when Windows starts and minimize to tray instead of exiting are hugely boosting these stats. Ooh, that's a hot take. And then we got another follow-up comment that says, definitely, not even kidding. It has to be more than half of that number's actively playing. Just go to the concurrent list right now. Top 10 games would only give you roughly 3 million. And that's being generous. Then the number drops off bigger than further you go down. Maybe 10 million CCU actively playing games at a time. So that's something to think about. So HenricK, with Steam now boosting more concurrent users than entire countries, should we start calling Gabe Newell a world leader? And with its unstoppable dominance, do you think Steam will ever team up with another corporation in the future, or is Valve perfectly happy ruling the PC kingdom solo?
Well, Gabe Newell has a history of being the guy that just does things and, somehow wins as a result of that. He has a history also of actually not liking big players in the space like Microsoft. He was at one point an employee with Microsoft and left to build Valve after not enjoying his time there. And so there's a lot of things that, they as a company have just as values of understanding, yes, we have to work with these other corporations, but when it comes to teaming up with them, it really feels like they want to just do a lot of stuff in-house, even so to the point that from our understanding of what we've seen from reports, the company culture for projects there is that, say you work on a project with a couple guys, and then if more people see it and they're like, oh, that's really interesting, I want to get involved with it, there's no like delegation from the company. It's more of like, oh, okay, there's people interested in this, so let's just gather them together and let them do their thing. We're not going to like have that much oversight on what's going on and saying, oh, you have to do this. No, you can do it if you want.
Yeah, no, I hear where you're coming from, and I think that there's definitely some truth to that. And just Valve's sheer influence in the industry alone is more shocking when you consider the size of the company. I mean, we found reports back in 2021 that they had an employee base of 336 people in their workforce. I mean, that is smaller than many AAA developers, let alone major multinational publishers like EA and Ubisoft, which failed to make a dent in the digital storefront arena. So,
and that's the thing too, is everyone wants Steam on their PC. If you have a PC and you're trying to game on it, if you don't have Steam, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Aren't you on Epic? Because that's the second biggest one, and even then, that doesn't have everything.
Yeah, it's not going to be another digital storefront that's going to be coming on in and going to be axing Valve. If anything, I truly believe that Valve will potentially one day cater to another corporation to be able to bring their backlog onto more devices beyond PC gaming. That's just how I truly believe. With Valve's own Counter-Strike 2, for example, remains a consistent winner for the platform, as like the comments were suggesting, it peaked over 1.8 million users, while other games such as PUBG, Dota 2, and Nakaraka Blade Point continue to hit those numbers in the hundreds of thousands each day. And so, people don't want to leave their digital storefront. If I got all my games there, why would I leave anytime soon? And so it does help to see a game like Monster Hunter Wilds, for example, find success in Valve. And so it gives, Capcom, even more, yes, we need to provide and, work out an alliance with this platform, because if it's going to be a win-win, good for you, good for me, then gamers will continue to come back and play our games. And so, it's really
Steam
wild.
needs the developers, and the developers definitely need Steam, because all the players, or the majority of them at least, are on Steam.
Or as we covered,
it would be foolish really to not have any plans of putting a game on Steam at this point.
Right. And, even we covered this a couple episodes back during season 8, but even Amazon recognizes the power Steam has over consumers, with one former VP admitting that despite being 250 times bigger than Valve, they couldn't even compete against that platform. So again, we want to ask you, the gamers, this is such an incredible milestone that Valve has, successfully, it seems like every 4 months continues to keep going up and up and up. And so would it do them even greater service by aligning with another corporation in the future, or will it just be better off running the kingdom solo? Let us know what's good.
Reddit never disappoints when it comes to spicy gaming discussions. And this time, a gamer asked the painful question,
Yes.
what free game, keyword free, have you spent the most money on? What
Yeah.
a question, right? Because in other
I
words,
know a lot of friends out
Yeah.
there that are very,
Yeah.
very guilty.
me too. I know people. And you know, I'm actually not that bad, fortunately enough, but I know people. And in other words, which so-called free-to-play title lured you with zero cost, only to have you swiping your card like it was a rhythm game? Well,
Dance
here's
with,
what gamers confessed.
what are we playing? The Necro Dancer?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what's going on? Yeah, let's go right on to the first comment. So this one we have here is probably Warframe. Funny how a game that doesn't try very hard at demanding money to progress upward is particularly capable of taking everyone's money. Was that a game that you threw money down, Henrik? I mean, I kind of heard a little grunt.
No, actually, what's really funny about Warframe is that a couple of my friends are getting really into it right now. And every time that we've tried to get into it before, it's been such a difficult process because you got to catch up on everything. And you got to learn everything. And so end up dropping it. Now, the one time that they want to do it and actually stick with it, I don't want to stick with it. So I haven't been playing with them.
And then by the time they move on, you want to jump back in. That's how I feel it feels like it comes every 6 months. It's like I've been bugging my buddies. Hey, you guys, you got GTA 5 online? I mean, it's kind of fun. I still have my own pad at the casino. You want to you want to play some cards? You just want to run a heist? Oh, wait, no, you don't have it? Okay, fine. Never mind. Don't buy it. And then you get games like League of Legends. Same.
Classic.
Quitting League of Legends is the best thing that happened to my life and wallet. I've been sober for 5 years now. Holy cow, bro. Do you have like a new coin with you? You carry around in your pocket? We're so golfer clap. 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years is an
Holy
accomplishment if you're really addicted to the game, though. I've seen people come back from even a couple years of not playing the game and be like, I'm back in it. I'm back in the trenches and I can't leave.
And then you get my Team Fortress 2 backpack was worth nearly $1,000 at one point. At it, in case anyone was curious, I liquidated it and helped fund my move across states. Laughing out loud. Wait, what? You're able to do that kind of stuff in Team Fortress 2?
Yeah.
And then the fact that you spent over $1,000?
Valve has done a job with doing the marketplace stuff for cosmetics in Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike, where you could, if you play your cards right, actually make money.
That's
off of
incredible.
Playing the video game.
Yeah, see, that makes me laugh because I think about my little brother and he was like thinking about Fortnite and he was so upset at the time. You're like, gosh, when did they implement this? Like 6 months ago or a year ago, where they're going, hey, character skins that weren't available because it was, had like a season restriction, I guess you could say, after, it goes away, it's gone forever. Well, now they came back. And so he's thinking, oh, my value. What are you guys evaluating character skins like they're Bitcoin? And like, what is going on? Like, people generally think that, oh, I paid $15 for that skin. It's going to be worth like $50 down the road. I lose it every single time I think of that. But then you get people like Counter-Strike 2 and the weapon skin thing, but we don't have to go there. But then there's Fortnite. Yep, just like I was saying.
Yeah.
Fortnite, yeah, I feel like that is like most people is guilty pleasure. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like they're got to be like the number one attraction for microtransactions, especially with that battle
it's definitely up there. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Does Pokemon Go count? Because summer of 2016 demanded I buy more egg incubators for a while there. I do remember that. I was I'd never paid in, but I do remember. I used to live alone at a Pokestop. The girl I was dating at the time was addicted to that game, and she loved being able to spin the stop to get items and whatever they drop from the comfort of my apartment. Oh, wow. Okay. So you kept the the date money inside the Pokemon Go with the microtransactions. Am I hearing that correctly? Maybe there's a reason why you guys are not together still. And then we got the next one, Path of Exile, because they were a small team, about $500. Yep. PoE for me as well. Drop $2K, $2,000 on it because I financially can afford it. I fully support their work, their approach to free to play, and I enjoy the type of game, not a single regret. PoE is a shining example of consumer friendly gaming, and I will sing the praises and back that up with my wallet until they give me a good reason not to. Okay, HenricK, I am genuinely confused by this statement that has over 30 ups on it. How could you be consumer friendly if you put $2,000 down? $2,000. What are you talking about? I mean, I don't know what the hell he's smoking. He's probably got some of that good stuff on his end, man. If you want to share around for everybody else, I mean, shoot. I mean, he is tripping, dog.
That is a lot to be putting down on a game.
Consumer friendly, like, don't. Oh my god. But anyways, HenricK, what's the most free game you've ever played? If by free we mean the game that slowly drained your bank account while it told yourself just one more purchase?
Well, I played Apex Legends for quite a while, and I got into it around like season 4, and I was, I paid pretty much just the initial amount on the battle pass, which was like $10. And I was constantly getting the battle pass for free, and it was just like keeping the currency for the time that eventually the heirloom weapon for my favorite character, Crypto, would come out.
Yeah.
Well, the character's heirloom weapon did come out. It was a folding sword, mechanical sword. And I had all this saved up currency. Well, the unfortunate thing is that it wasn't enough. So I had to still pull out the wallet and pay like $60.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I gotta do it because like, I want it. Like, I've been waiting for this to drop, and I need it. I know I don't need it, but I need it. But that really wasn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. I didn't spend $2,000 on the game. So
I know there's a thing called Neuralink out there, but if we can come up with a similar nicotine patch that we can put on gamers to, prevent them from spending their dinero characters, kids, can we make it happen? But honestly, I've never dropped cash on battle passes, skins, or ultimate team cards in a free game, but I've come dangerously close, and this was really, really tough for me to even think about it. I mean, what was that real temptation? And I gotta say, I was so close, but I've never done it, spending a few bucks to remove ads from Pixel Pro Golf on my iPhone, because nothing kills the vibe faster than nailing a perfect shot only to be interrupted by an ad for a game I'll never download every 2 holes. Like, that shit is so freaking annoying.
Definitely kind of relatable to a lot of people, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because think about it. I mean, what's the probably biggest annoyance of an app on your phone getting ads?
Yeah.
YouTube and video games.
Absolutely. Or like,
people
even
pay
when you're
for YouTube Premium because of that.
Yeah, or like, you're watching Amazon Prime and you're trying to check out the latest episode of Beast Games, and then all of a sudden a freaking commercial's popping on. It's like, dude, I thought I paid for the stream service. Why am I watching commercials? Leave it for Hulu.
The ads in the mobile games, like, the screen's only about this big, right? Like,
yeah,
the ad could take up like an eighth of that.
But it's always the worst, because they're like, hey, do you want to skip this? Play our little mini game of the game we want you to download. And you're like,
yeah.
And you're like, okay, now I'm not even playing the 18 holes anymore. I can't handle this. But is there a game that we're missing on this list that was a free game that you got tempted into spending your hard-earned dinero? Let us know what's good, and do you regret your decision, or do you love the investment? Let us know what's good. But man, we can't thank you, all the gamers out there, for always joining us live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. So we want to take one last moment towards the end of the show to share my QR code. This is towards my YouTube channel. So go ahead and like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
And there's my glorious QR code. Bask in it, because it's there for you to scan. And when you scan that, it'll go to my YouTube channel. So go take a look. There's tons of content there for you to watch. And just, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Just go scan it. The show is about to be done. There's going to be more things for you to be entertained about. Come on.
Yeah. Come on, say, loving comment, talk shit, do what you got. We love the energy that you gamers bring for us on a weekly basis. So we will see you in the very near future. Next week, Wednesdays live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But for now, gamers, hold on to your controllers, kick some ass, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
See ya.